The next generation of the Fuji X100 series is set to be released soon, and the big question everyone's asking is, should I wait for the new one, or should I just buy an X100v? And I'm here to help you answer that. Now, I think the important question to ask before diving further into this video is, 1, why do you want an X100v? And 2, what is the X100, let's call it the X106, gonna have to bring to make you want to wait for the next generation as opposed to just getting what you can get your hands on now? The X100v is a great camera. In my opinion, it's the best camera for a professional photographer looking for an everyday carry. I did a full review on the X100v that I think you should check out if you're interested in this camera, but for now, you should just know that the X100v has great specs, and even though it's 3 years old, the specs are still great. Just because a new generation of camera is coming out doesn't make the previous generation bad. If you look at the Sony a7 IV and compare it to the Sony a7 III, the a7 III is still a fantastic camera and still used by plenty of professionals. Just because the a7 IV is out doesn't make the a7 III bad. I think it's important for us as photographers, as gearheads, as techies, to remember that just because a new product comes out doesn't make the old one bad. It just means technology is going further, but it doesn't mean that the old technology is immediately obsolete and bad. People are still using film cameras, and people are still using DSLRs, and people are still using older mirrorless cameras. Just because there's new technology out there doesn't make the old technology bad and obsolete instantly. So if you're looking to get an X106 or whatever it's going to be called, just because it's newer and you're afraid the older X100v is going to be bad, that's not the right reason to wait for an X106. Now, if you're waiting for the next generation of the X100 to come out, because there's a certain spec you want or a certain feature it's supposed to have that you really feel like you need, it can be a bit of a different story. And I think this is where you have to ask yourself about your price and how much you're willing to spend on this camera and how long you're willing to wait for it. Looking at the rumors for the X100v, where it's going to have the 40 megapixel sensor and it's going to have IBIS, you have to ask yourself, are those features going to be worth the extra price that this camera may cost? It's most likely going to be more expensive than the previous model. That's just how the market works. Not only is this new model most likely going to be more expensive, it's also still going to be hard to get. Just because the new generation of X100 comes out doesn't mean that the supply and demand issues are just going to disappear. So many people are looking to get X100Vs that when the X106 comes out, I think so many people are going to try to buy it at the same time. There's going to be a huge wait time on getting this model. I mean, look at other companies like Canon, Sony, and Nikon. Their camera rollouts have been much slower since 2020. There's often a larger wait time to get your cameras than there used to be. So just because the X106 comes out doesn't mean that they're all going to be immediately available, and you'll likely have to wait. So if you're planning on getting an X106 just because they'll be there sooner, I don't think that's a reliable way of thinking. And personally, I still believe there will be a supply chain issue with the X106 because so many people want them after the hype of the X100v. Earlier I mentioned the price of the X106 and just how the price of the X106 is going to go up. The price of the X100v is likely going to go down with the release of this new camera. As more people flood the market with their old X100vs trying to get the new X106, the price is going to go down because the market's going to be more saturated. We aren't going to see these crazy prices on the X100v like we've been seeing, and they'll likely drop significantly, offering a much better value in my opinion. And in the end, that's what choosing between the X100v and waiting for the X106 is all about. Value. How much do you value the new features? How much do you value having the newest camera? How much do you value your price per performance ratio? And you just have to make that decision for yourself. No one's going to be able to tell you what to choose, but I think thinking about these questions and thinking about these scenarios will help you choose between getting the X100v now or waiting for an X106 or waiting for the X106 to come out and then getting a used X100v. It's really all up to you. I hope you make the decision that fits you best. For now, go out and shoot some photos. Thanks for watching.